The world is a vampire sent to drain. Secret destroyer.
You're a dangerous secret, Isaac.
I'm not running anymore. I know what I have to do.
Despite
Hey, I can help you. Besides, we got a better chance if we stick together.
It's not a chance, Isaac. Other people are just a liability.
Isaac, I know you're confused right now, but you gotta trust me, okay? You're in terrible, terrible danger.
Dead Space 2 for the 360 and the PS3. Unfortunately not for Wii. Sorry, guys. Actually, Wii has something to do with this. We'll get back to that. Anyway, sequel to Dead Space 1, which came out a couple years back by Visceral Games, published by EA. The game is following Isaac Clarke, hero from the first game. Basically carries on right after the first one, too. Sort of. You kind of see a little bit of time, time placement there. You'll know what I mean if you try it out. Anyway, the game follows Isaac through a place called the Sprawl versus the Ishimura in the first game. But you actually do, in certain points, get to kind of venture back there and see kind of what's happened since you were last there. There's a couple new different kinds of enemies you're going to be fighting along the way, new necromorphs, some new weapons, new suits, the whole deal. Story is a little bit different in the sense that this time Isaac's going to talk, whereas he said absolutely nothing throughout the whole first game. You only saw his face right at the very end. You see his face constantly within the first 5 minutes. You get to see what Isaac looks like again, and he talks throughout the entire game. But he keeps it to a minimum. He keeps it to just things that actually matter. He's not just going to sit there and idly chatter to everybody he runs into, who wind up dying anyway. So anyway, that being said, they also have added this new kind of like space flight kind of feature to the suits, which handles pretty well. There's also going to be a couple missions that you're doing outside the Sprawl, which is a much better environment as well than the Ishimura was. It's far more diverse, and you're going to run into all kinds of crazy places like a nursery. Yeah, it's a little frightening. Bosses and stuff like that are going to be a little bit scarce in this one, though. I didn't find quite as many like big battles along the way, but the one thing that it does have is a lot of enemies, which is kind of one of my issues near the end of the game. It's almost just, let's see how many guys we can throw at you, and it's like, okay, so I kill them. Okay, well, here's 50 more guys. It's like, I get you're trying to kill me, but it's really frustrating because it's just a lot of the same thing. But the story moves along at a good enough pace. The characters are super cool. I love all the interactions with Isaac and everybody that he meets, and all the visions, crazy visions and things like that in his head. The game is so screwed up. If you played the first game and you thought that was bad, this is just all kinds of freaky, weird stuff. So if you played the first one and you enjoyed it, I would definitely say check it out. PS3 owners actually get a little bit of a bonus too in the limited edition, in that they're getting the HD version of Dead Space Extraction, which came out on the Wii a while back. Did not sell very well. It's still one of the best games I've ever played on my Wii. But now I can play it on my PS3 with Move support too, so I don't have to worry about that. It's also got a tacked-on multiplayer, which I felt was completely unnecessary. It's neat to have, I guess, but Dead Space is never something I ever wanted or still want any kind of multiplayer in whatsoever. And yeah, that's about it. Dead Space 2, you should probably check it out. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Survival horror fans, pick it up.